Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. Fratelli the Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast. The Italian Rugby Podcast.
E eccoci qua, benvenuti. Welcome to a new episode of Fratelli di Rugby Podcast, the Italian Rugby Podcast. Mike, buonasera. How are you?
Buonasera. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today.
Yes, we are here, Mike, after a beautiful opportunity for us that we take in some way. So today we're gonna not debunk, but we're gonna talk all about the first game of the Castelagel series. So we came back from Pretoria with a decent performance, my opinion, my guess about us, especially the second half. And so yes, we are here to talk all about Springboks Azzurri. If we want to use nicknames, Springboks Azzurri probably is the best way to address this. Anyway, South Africa, Italy. Mike, we said a couple of things. We were not sure how to call this episode because we were talking about heads up, eye up, because spoke about that, and we also talk about the two halves.
Yeah.
Sure, bomb squad, grenade squad, whatever, but many things to say. But let's say ciao, Robert, ciao, Phantom, and of course we are live on X and on YouTube as usual. Follow us on YouTube, so you're gonna help us grow more and more with more contents. That's key for us.
Yeah. For reference, guys, the reason Otto was saying about the title, Quesada also said, as a nice sort of foreshadow to the game, like I hope at the end of the game. In fact, he didn't say I hope. He said, I'm sure at the end of the game, the guys are going to be able to keep their heads up and look each other in the eyes and say that, they've done a good thing. And actually, I think Otto hit the nail on the head. It was a good performance, and I think they achieved that. So, happy with that.
Happy because it happened what we expected. We see some players playing really well in our situation because, of course, Springboks were missing a lot of really good players, a lot of world champions, but still they were a lot of double world champions in this game. But we were missing 7 players only during this session between Namibia, training, and South Africa.
Yeah, 7 injuries in a week is madness, isn't it?
The new captain was get injured, so we didn't see Nicotera playing for the Springboks. We have seen a great Niccolò Cannone in all of this because it's fantastic. Was fantastic actually. Mm-hmm. The Tuscan, the Florence man, the Red man, l'uomo dei Rossi. If we talk about Calcio Fiorentino, is there. But Mike, let's be honest. We wanted to see this kind of Italy able to play. We know our issues, scrum wise against the South Africa. We knew that was a big issue. We said discipline. Yeah. We know brutality into contact. That was another thing. But we try our best in that on that, and I think we can be proud of what they achieve on confidence when we talk about Italian players. Come on, we blocked some players, we scored some tries. I think that was a fantastic way to move forward for us. Then 42-24, which is always good to see, scoring more than one try. And we had a chance to score more than one, more than 2, more than 3. And I lost Mike, and I'm gonna let him inside again. Let's see if it's gonna be better. Mike, I was thinking that I don't know how much you hear me, but of course we're gonna read also the chat. So if you want to message us on the chat, we are on Instagram. And a lot of credit to Richard Hodges. Look who's saying this.
Once in a blue moon, Otto. Take a screenshot quick.
Yes, I'm gonna put it here. So again, so defense. Let's talk about defense. General
Yes.
defense, rack to rack situation. Mike, how you see Italy in this?
Yeah, I thought they did really well. I thought that they matched a lot of the physicality, particularly sort of after sort of, let's say, the first 10, 15 minutes. There were players putting like their bodies on the line. Di Bartolomeo, Cannone, both Cannone actually. They were flying in, super aggressive, super combative, and line speed was good. They were closing down. A lot of like the passing opportunities with the blitz defense and causing trouble in attack. And as much as, you know, a lot of the fans are like, oh, you know, Springboks played poorly, that's because of how aggressive the defense was, which is normally what they do to other teams. So it's one of those where people struggle to play against the box blitz defense because of what they're able to do. And it was almost like Italy playing them at their own cards, which is really like quite a proud moment, I think, for us as fans, and it was nice to see them sort of grow in that sense.
Talking about stats from the game, I took these stats from the official match center detail of the South African Rugby Federation. Top tacklers in this game: Nicolò Cannone 24, Zuliani 24, Di Bartolomeo, you mentioned, other 24 tackles, followed by Menoncello, Zambonini, and Itzegor with 16. A crazy 14 tackles by Giacomo Dare in all of this. And the first South African, of course, they had a lot of possession. The first Safa is Marco van Stalen with 12 and De Allende with 11 and Mark Setzer, but also has 11 tackles between first and second half. Here we go. I lose it again.
It's one of those.
Yeah, it's one of those days, Mike. The connection is a little bit fumbly. But I think, Mike, we show it. Come on, 24 tackles from a player that is it's a debutant, because Di Bartolomeo never played before. 24 tackles. It's a crazy amount of tackles in a game
against who he was playing as well. That's the crazy thing for me, is also who he was playing against. He did incredibly well. Man, like, so good on that side. But yeah, go on.
No, go, please. There is so much to say. I'm gonna also check on the chat.
No, you're fine. I was just going to say also, it's just the fact that how many people stepped up, even players who are established players, they found an extra gear. And that was like the thing that, you know, made me most proud. It was players literally playing their best game. Some players obviously had, you know, like the other side and were struggling under the pressure of the box. But yeah, a lot of the forwards really stepped up, and I think that's all we could have asked them to do, to be honest.
Putting another player, and then we're gonna go in the situations in the game. We had another debutant that scored the try, Pablo Dimchev. A good impact. Also the nasty kick behind, where we almost scored again, almost, because that was a scramble defense.
Yeah, let's talk about that one in a bit.
Yeah, well, man, I'm gonna put it on, and we can check it on the software so we can see the situation in that. But we blooded. We came to South Africa with Nicotera as a new captain. We draw from the team for injury, and we went with 0 caps between the two hookers. Crazy, Mike. Crazy.
Yeah. And not only that, like, they look like seasoned professionals. Like, they look like test, you know, experienced players. And again, I think Di Bartolomeo, that question was also almost answered for us at the back end of the season. We sort of anticipated that he was going to be, you know, a test level hooker, particularly of how well he was playing. But Dimchev to come in from the Pro D2 and just do that against the box as well, fair play. Looks like we've got finally some really good depth at hooker. If we look at Zaron Tonello as well, who didn't make it onto
didn't make it, and it's been called up Ribaldi. That probably is going to go train for a couple of weeks. Hopefully only training, because it means that the two players, Dimchev and Di Bartolomeo, will be great for the and let's say safe in a cage. I don't know where they're gonna put him for a couple of
Yeah.
until the next week, until next weekend. But Mike, let's start from the first half. We
Mhm.
stopped in the first half, but let me just answer this question. Ragazzi, do you care about the Lions? Yes, a lot. We're gonna speak more about Lions in 2 weeks because it's gonna be time for Australia to play Lions, and we're gonna be busy following Italy in the next test of the summer. So yes, we're gonna talk about that. But first off, you said pressure in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I think we kept pushing in defense, trying to put less people into the breakdown, having Giuliani going around looking for opportunity because this was the game of Giuliani in that way. Like there is an opportunity, I'm gonna slow down that track. And then there was that situation, honestly, 50-50 for me, maybe more 40-60, but the try was given to Kriel on that kick. But anyway, we try to play more and more, and with those few opportunity in the first half, we didn't score. Of course, we didn't score. And the Springboks, they push hard, but we push hard with, but then they score like the try in that way. They were able to capitalize the situation with Arense in the first half. That was really good because come on, we left that space. We're gonna look at the space in a few minutes too. Then the scrum on the yellow card. Let's say Lorenzo Cannone cost us 14 points. I'm not mad at him, but to say when we were in 14, we had those
We lost the. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like after the yellow card, we conceded that amount. Yeah.
only that. That's why I'm saying that because I think also Lorenzo Cannone that came out with injury, but it's good and able to play next weekend. Now let's see if he's gonna play and how much he's gonna play next weekend. But he's there, so no another injury because if not, it was the 8th injury of this tour, which is crazy if we think about that. But hey, they did it. They did well in the first half. They push, but then what do you think? Why the second half came on? They scored disallowed try with Shituka, and then nothing until Vastaden. Let's say. Why you think there was this switch between first half, second half of the Springboks? Because I mean, bomb squad is bomb squad. I mean, the value of this team is still up there. It's not something different. But what happened between first half and second half, from your perspective?
We respected possession. We respected possession a lot more. We were playing phases. We weren't constantly kicking. When we were kicking, we were running and we were chasing better. So we were putting them under pressure in the air. But yeah, we just respected the ball more. Obviously, there's still like those handling errors which were frustrating, but we didn't lose that many due to handling error, if that makes sense. Like if we knocked the ball, it was backwards, and if we did, we scrambled well, and we just respected having that possession a lot more, and you know, moving from side to side and putting pressure on. We found some gaps, and at times to be honest with you, unfortunate not to capitalize. I'm thinking of that Vincent break as well, where he gets the offload and then it I think goes to Liner, and Liner tries to pop up off the floor.
Pop up on yes.
Yeah, and then but had I think it was either Garbisi or Fusco. It was one of the two. I can't remember what time that was on. If like they had a hard line and they managed to had that ball gone to hand, that they were through, and little things like that, little mistakes like that. You know, we could have done more. And I think actually we need to get the balance right. We need to get the balance right between offloads and, you know, small percentage plays. We have to get the balance right between taking the ball in, recycling, being patient as well, because I think at line breaks is less likely, unless you're really sure that they're not going to we're not going to retain possession. That's the time to be slightly more aggressive and try and these things, if that makes sense.
It is. It is because I think on one side we try to play in that way because we were trying to avoid collision and we to move them around, move it around to uh, try to move them fast or maybe try to kick more. We were the team that kicked the most in this game, and it's not so common, but it happens with the Springboks. Usually they win the games anyway, even when they kick less. But that was wild. And also, you said the offloads. We offload the double of the Springboks, 13 times. But
Yeah.
the difference was where we try to move this
The
ball.
decisions.
Yes, the decision and like wasn't on a continuity on after a line break. Was more okay. We are on contact, move the ball, attack, absorb players closer, which is also it cost you a lot because a lot of energy from all the supporter players, and then move the ball wide. We were not able to do a lot of that in a positive way. Let's say.
Yeah, I really like one thing that, just that you mentioned sort of sprung it to mind there as well. I really like the fact that we were using, like round the back balls, passing it to Darre, then running to like a B defender or a C defender behind the ruck and taking the contact and then finding the space round the corner. That was really effective. And I'm sure, obviously, it's not going to be. I'm sure they're going to look at that next week, right? But that was super effective. I'd love to see how that fares up next week.
Talking about Dare, he was really attacked, targeted when the ball was in Springbok's hands. We saw
Yeah,
long
smart.
man. When I saw Vilcolo against Dare 5 meters off the line, the try line, I said, "Shit! Look where we are now." But then, hey, we were able to tackle there. The situation was positive and everything. But I think yes, they tried to put a lot of players there. They were trying to move players around the rack. Even if you were just standing there close to the rack, tackle on you. Many times it happened. But of course, when you have a team that, first of all, you can do it because no whistles gone, and then you can keep pushing and even just letting the players on the ground. Of course, you're gonna gain those the backing game of the defense is gonna be slower. You have more
Yeah,
players in attack. You're gonna move wild out. And I
yeah,
have a
yeah.
question about that from Phantom, and of course, guys, we can read your messages on YouTube if you want. If you want to ask us something, we are there. So if Dare nails the next game, does Garbisi worry?
No.
Interesting, but no. But it's gonna be a great opportunity to move around. And you
Well,
think
it's the discussion, isn't it? It's the same old discussion that England have. It's the same old discussion that
it
that
is.
Ireland have. It's the same old discussion that Scotland have with Hastings and Finn Russell or Smith and Smith, and it's game changers. And actually, Garbisi is more of a traditional, like what we would consider a traditional test 10. He plays people into space. He doesn't really run too much. He takes it to the line, but not as much and as effective as Darre. Darre is more of a player who would thrive in broken play. So actually, if we're talking about like a plan B, Darre is a pretty impressive plan B, to be honest. And we're also talking as if Alan doesn't exist in all this as well. Obviously, Alan's still, around, and he'll be around for this next World Cup cycle at least. So it's a good place to be. With this was the whole intention of this tour for us. It's to understand where we were at in certain positions.
Yes.
And Darre is putting his hand up and he's proving against the best team in the world that he can make an impact. What you take from that is up to you. But I think Garbisi is a 50 plus cap international player. He knows everyone is playing in the highest levels week in, week out. I don't think Garbisi is going to worry. I think it's a good plan B in my eyes.
There is let's say, I think this can be an interesting scenario maybe in a couple of years. is the one from Kips. If we talk about Italy, Dare 10, Marine 10, Garbisi 10, but without Brexit. Sorry, not Brexit. Brexit is already gone to Toulon and it's already in UK going. But if we have an injury with Brex, maybe this moving in this way give more opportunity. Can be interesting, I think. Maybe
Yeah, I mean, I thought about this as well.
two
With
left,
Darre.
two left players, huh? Two left boot plus Trulla right.
Yeah, it was also like having the option. One thing that I felt like we missed a little bit in the centres. Obviously, Brex's rugby IQ full stop. Brex's passing full stop. But more importantly, the kicking. I really like it when Brex will kick that cheeky grubber through and cause problems, especially on a blitz defense, because he knows it well, right? So he knows the areas where there's going to be space. Having someone like Garbisi, maybe, and again, hypothetically on Kips's comment, if that was an injury and we were forced to do it, we're not gonna diminish that much, if that makes sense. So positives that we're in a position now where we can try combinations and we're talking about it like this,
We can, and Mike, a couple of just quick highlights from Jack Dare in this game. That fake pass and then, I don't know, a little bit of Harlem Globetrotter style and the 50-22 that he got. So I'm going to show you this quickly. Here we go. This was the first. We went behind, fake and pass from the top. This is great.
I love that because he ties in two defenders there. Like had he just pumped, they wouldn't have both gone for it.
So this is, of course, the classic defense, South African defense really up. Also, they have to do it because we have numbers out. We have Menoncello, Trulla, and Idzekor. Look where is Idzekor. Sadly, two opportunities to run for him. Not that good. One was this one, and the second one was the Trulla kick in the second half up in this area. But this was really fantastic by Giacomo Dare to give this ball. And after this, Mike, the 50-22 here.
This was lovely.
Yes, just in the corner. I don't know. It seems like here, who was it there? The Allende, Pollard,
No, Willie LaRue.
Oh, Willie LaRue already.
Or was it Pollard? Okay. No, it might have been Pollard, the 61.
It's too big to be Willie LaRue. It's Pollard.
Yeah.
I don't know. Pollard, he was a little bit tired because he was the one that kicked that ball before. But I don't know. Maybe a little bit more effort from him here to avoid this. But also, we were good on the trailing this kick with Jesse and Dare. So just this little situation that we saw during the game from Dare that gives us this different opportunity. Man, it was hard for him. If you think that he started against Portugal 2 decades ago, like 2 rugby years ago, in the first the first summer tour after 2 years was that one with Crowley. Then 2 years between bench and out, and then this season with Zebra. So
breakout season also.
Yeah. Breakup season, yes. Hopefully it's gonna be next year even more than this. But Mike, let's go look a couple of situations. This was the one we were talking in the first half because they scored with that kick behind. We talk about how they kick behind with a grabber, and we show some kicks. They're able to this because we go really flat. All the players goes on one line to defense when they are like 10 meters out, and the Allende kicked. Fantastic. With that. But after that, this was they had the scrum try with Krappi, with Vandenberg, and this was the situation. So here we missing one player because one player is out in this moment.
Cannone out, wasn't it?
So they tried two strategies from line out the Springboks. The first one, the pop from the bottom from the bucket, let's say. Pop from the bucket, pass the ball to the running two or the 9 moving around, so some like switch behind,
Looping around, yeah.
looping around,
Loop.
and then they try many times maul just after the 15 meters to start pushing her there. So here we are really absorbed with Giuliani. Of course, we are missing one player, and Di Bartolomeo, first standing player with the back line. They go so well because, of course, we have here Mr. Kartli Arendse, and he's trying to do this kind of cut in this way with our Di Bartolomeo that try to go a little bit following more on Pollard, closing this gap. But talking about gap, we have a lot of space here in the middle. That is
Yeah, it's like 5 or 6 yards there, isn't it?
But also because of we have Giuliani that try to go on the player that popped this ball, okay? Because it's coming on this side, and it's Malcolm Marks with that.
Is it Diego holding onto his arm there as well? Because that's a big old beast to try and get round.
This is Vilcolo, even bigger. Yes, another man.
Yeah.
So they go with this ball for he goes really low, but as you can see in this situation, we have Arense cutting already the line and not adjusting Di Bartolomeo in this case. Probably one of the few missing tackles from Di Bartolomeo. So he's still going in that direction, but the ball goes there. So the time to readjust and tackle and close the space is not enough.
Wait, pause there, please, mate. Look at Cannone here. Look at Cannone, yes, right? So between Cannone,
here we go.
Yeah, so between those two gents there, Cannone and Di Bartolomeo, there is literally like 6 yards there, right? Wilco Low doesn't have to move, right? So now if you press play,
like we need another player here, Mike. It seems we need the number 8 here, our number 8.
Yeah. Or what we can see, who's in the backfield there? Is it full score?
This one
on my head. Yeah, just there. They
score.
need to enter the defensive line quicker there. And risk the kick because like they're sweeping there, but they haven't closed the gap. But anyway, Wilco Low here is under no obligation to move. So if you press play, he's clearly going to be in the way, right?
Here we go. As you can see, there is
make that extra step to go around him. Oh, this is just beautiful, Otto. Like when you look at it like this, it's just beautiful. It's poetry.
It's poetry because then, and even better, this double step, side step, and space. I'm gonna highlight this player now, Mike, just because this player had a really banging game, if I have to tell you, which is Luis Leinag. We know he's good on high ball. We know he can do well, but he was really give me a binary where I can run. Step 1 player is our best player for defenders beaten in this game with 4. He was really busy, active, trying to find solution in attack to speed up the game, and I think this was really fun to watch for a player that sadly missed the end of the season. Actually, too much of this season, not the end. Too much of the season when he started clicking with the Benetton injury came. So,
he was playing some of his best rugby back then. Yeah. There was a point for Liner, actually. I felt quite sorry for him. I can't remember who kicked it. I think it might have been Trulla, like first few minutes. Get out onto the edge. It might have been Trulla, it might have been Zanon. It was one of the two. Nice little grubber kick. A little bit shallow. But Liner, it would have left 1-on-1 with Willemser in the backfield. And like you've got to give Liner a chance there, right? If he gets that ball and he's running onto pace, like it's gonna be would have been interesting.
First game, of course, after this injury that let's say shut down the opportunity to see him give an help to the Benetton team, but it was really good. Mike, other stuff to say about the Italian team in general, and then we're gonna go deep into next game because we have to talk about Springboks 2 more. But we had Zambonin Zambonin.
Turning over balls for fun, eh?
Zambo, the future Exeter chief player. Sadly, not a close player, but Zambonin. I want all Italy going to play for Gloucester. That's the point.
get Bortolami there in a bit.
No, now he's busy.
But
having Zambonin stealing one line out, we stole 3 lineouts, I think.
He stole 2 lineouts.
2 him and 1 Itzagor, I guess, in the first.
Yeah.
So,
he was brilliant. Yeah, he was brilliant. As well, like crucial positions as well. I think one was on our 40, but you know how they love a strike play off, like from what we saw Curtly Aronson score from like our 40 on the other side. So, yeah, man, like lots of players that played really, really well. I think Zambonin, again, just nice to see a player that came back from a horrific injury and again, just playing against the best forwards in the world and sort of showing that he belongs in that sort of thing. And again, like a player that has suffered so much heartache at Zebre for a long period. He's just resilient and he's just tough and he's just become like a true sort of test player. And it's nice to see that he was afforded the opportunity to prove himself against the best, you know.
I want to highlight this from Robert, and then we also in Phantom there. From his first cap, Zambonin has been better for Italy than he is for Zebre, and he's very good for Zebre. Definition of a test player. I wanted to highlight him, Niccolò Cannone, between how focused was in this game and how much also Canali, how he came into the game was fantastic. But we were really good at stopping Mole, Mike. And I was really surprised against Springboks doing this because we suffer like crazy. I mean, if you have to bet before a game that Italy can against the Springboks can be attacked through a maul and the opposite team can score, you can say maybe yes, because we usually had this kind of issues, even with other game. But between Namibia, I know it's a different level, but we didn't give them any opportunity there. And this with Springboks, I was really happy to see a focused team, a focused 8-man, 7-man in the line out, working hard. And that was something for us.
For sure. And it's actually, just so because common. I'm sorry?
It's not so common for us to be that.
No. Clever. No, we're typically, that's normally where teams in the Six Nations will target us, right? In the mall.
Tell us to England 2 years ago.
Right. But as you brought him up, I think actually we do need to spend some time talking about how good Niccolò Cannone was this game. He was brilliant, particularly the first few exchanges. Like he was putting Eben on his arse. He was putting some monster hits in. He just looked the best I've ever seen him play. He was brilliant from the moment he stepped onto the pitch. And actually, I'm sure there was someone can highlight a mistake, but I think that was as close to a perfect game that he's played. The number of involvements in the game, both offensively and defensively, the pull passes, like the carries, the defense, like the trying to compete at line. He was just unreal. And actually, if that's his level and that's what he can do, he needs to watch back this game 10 times over, because that's what he should be moving forward.
So 9 carries, 45 meters made, 24 tackles, 1 defender beaten, 1 turnover won, 1 try scored by Niccolò Cannone in his 80 minutes game, which is not.
So 24 tackles. How many carries? Sorry, 11. Did you say?
9 carries, 5 meters every carry.
You can't ask for more there, can you? Really?
No, absolutely. And talking about how good was the second half and the players that came in the second half, Odiase highlighted. Odiase 5 carries, 35 meters made.
He was amazing.
Lost 3 tackles, but he was there. We know what he can do. So he looked like, okay, I know I can be really rough in the game. I can be really hard, and that's for me was something else because we need this kind of energy. Because when we see, I'm gonna show you a couple of things from the stats. Okay, so let's go. Let's go here. So these are the stats from the benches. Okay, and we had, if you think Odiase 35 meters made and Vincent 24, and that's, I think it's something because we were better than Willy Leroux and Snyman together if you put it on the point of view of meters made and carries. And usually you don't expect these two young players like them to be that good. Actually,
Vincent made 9 tackles in 18
in
minutes.
nothing. Yes, Canali 5. 13
That's
meters made with that one carry, Mike. Shall we talk about that carry?
Oh no! Do you want to talk about that, Gary?
No, I don't want to talk about that carry because we know what happened. We didn't have players outside. Shidoga was fantastic because he had another great game, to be honest, because he scored that disallowed try. He saved the day with that tackle. Is everywhere. He's playing into Colisi's shoes in this case. So I think that was great. But Canali, man, he was craving to have an opportunity. And what Quesada said about the chance, like he feel it. Quesada felt it. Like, okay, no matter what, we're gonna change. Dimchev in, Canali in. We don't care. We're gonna just go hard and create that beauty of 22 meters small. Because Mike, we said hang it in the Louvre, we said everything, but come on, is for a team like Italy, it doesn't happen so often.
I mean, take Italy out. Take Italy out of this conversation. When was the last time you saw anyone? When was the last time you saw anyone score a 22-meter driving maul against the box try? I can't. Not at least not in the last sort of. I can't. Not at least in the last couple of cycles.
Dear South African fans, let us know. Let us know how, if you remember something like that, because actually I don't. That is
never. Well, not that far out. At least not in a long time. If it's happened, but I can't.
Mike, I want you to address one thing about these games. Like this game was a game where they won, okay, but they're gonna be much more fierce in the next game. Next game is gonna be something else, because just to show you, when they lose against Argentina 29-28, the week after they scored 48 points to 7 to Argentina. And when they lost against Ireland for 1 point, they put 64 points on one of the best Portugal we've seen in years. So what do you expect from the next game from the box? How much they're gonna change in the 20, let's say in the 15?
I think they're probably going to make some changes with the halfbacks. I'd anticipate, but realistically, I don't see them changing too much outside of that. So I anticipate maybe. I know Khaleesi's coming back in. Obviously, they probably want their captain back in if he's fit. But outside of that, Otto, I don't think we're going to see too much. I think we might see a 9-10 change, or maybe just a 9 change. Cobus Reinach, I anticipate him being in or around. Razzie said 9 changes in the 23. Interesting that. I have no idea who he's going to change then if that's the case. We'll find out tomorrow for sure. But
yeah, of course, tomorrow is the game. Probably he also spoke about rotation, 8 games maximum. Like, for example, I think the Jager maybe it's gonna be that chance. Maybe he's gonna. You think it's gonna be something like that? 6 plus.
I don't know. I was thinking maybe more for like if Khaleesi comes in, right, and they have their captain back, then they could potentially afford to give Krill some rest, put him on the bench, put Esterhazen in with Dialende, put Esterhazen at 13 instead of 12. I could see that happening. I could see
Okay.
that happen.
I think probably Pollard will be maybe benched because
Sasha
with
on.
Sasha Manni, Libok on, I'm
Mm.
both they bring something in the game,
Yeah.
attacking wise. Flair, of course, the flair. If I think about that, is Gomez Zulu more than anyone. But hey, that the Jager probably is going to have a stop for a couple of weeks because he was back from the injuries, the season, and everything. So he played last 2 games. So if we think about rotation, he can be one. Inche for maybe Dutoit playing on the left side. Wilcolo was massive, man. Wilcolo was massive.
It's
Oh,
put
now at this
massive,
game,
isn't it?
you have to say.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Sashinkov boost, but I didn't listen the media press conference.
Yeah, I could definitely see Kobus. Like Kobus against us seems like a good game matchup for him. You know, with his pace and like his vision. It just seems like a. If I was a coach, I'd be like, yeah, but
So,
broken field against Italy, have Kobus.
so my pimp is out. Arens is on as usual. Do you think he's gonna bring Kolbe again, or he's gonna try Kanamudi?
I don't. I honestly, I was a little bit surprised about the aerial battle and how poor. So we both were. Let's be honest. We weren't much better, but South Africa are normally very good in the air. So he could potentially make a change there. Who he's going to bring on Otto, I'm not too sure, to be honest. But do you think Moody is better in the air than maybe Colby?
Kanamudi. No, I mean we are talking about Colby still good. The point is that if you want to bring another player to give those minutes to get ready, and maybe he's gonna play Georgia 80 minutes straight. Maybe Moody can be one of the players. I don't know when we're gonna see Ethan Hooker, if it's gonna be the next 2 games, or it's gonna be later on during the season, or it's gonna be in Italy playing against us again in Turin this in November, because this is a 3 chapters 2025 against the Springboks. So I'm really wondering who else can be put into the team now, because man, I love the Damian Willemse, and I think he can be also the
He's good.
solution. I mean, it's so good for me between him and Sasha that I think if he's gonna play 15, I love Fassi to see him 15, because Fassi is really really good on eyeballs and also to kicking wise and everything. So
Yeah.
maybe I'm thinking a 12 the Allende too. Honestly, I'm thinking Fassi the Allende 10-12 with put another storm as a 10. Then you decide if you want Gomezulu or Moody. But I think that, and they're gonna be ferocious against us. Like
Good. That's what we want, Otto. What I
absolutely,
think,
this is the point, Mike.
yeah. Well, this is it, right? This is an opportunity for us. I think, said it to a few of the boys. This is an opportunity where we learn, first of all, a lot about the players, right? How they're going to react to maybe some positivity for once and stuff, and how is it going to be the normal can't get in the same emotional mindset, and we get battered like we see in the Six Nations when we've got a good result. That's one question. The second question is how good a coach is Quesada. We know Razi is one of the best coaches in the world. We know that he's going to learn a lot from this game. What the question is how much are we going to learn from the game, and how much are we going to be able to implement and put them under pressure from this game? Because I think actually these are questions that we don't really know. We've never had the opportunity to play the same team twice under Quesada. I don't think this is the first time from memory, right? We haven't had a test.
And never had the opportunity with Quesada to have all this freedom of choice in the players. Despite injuries and everything, we didn't have that opportunity last year. Because, let's say we had to show the best team possible under Innocenti.
Yeah. So I think actually now we're in a position where we're going to really see, how good a coach Quesada is, and we're going to see, what this young team can do. And they're going to be mad, like you said, Otto. They're going to be coming for the jugular, but we need to be prepared and we need to throw some counter punches, because if not, we're going to get steamrolled, and that's not acceptable.
You know what it meant? Of course, I'm going to leave this here because it's interesting from Kips talking about the tough outcomes, and it's going to be tough for us if we don't win in against Australia in Udine. We're going to play Australia in Udine, Springboks in Turin, Samoa in Genova during November. So, guys, let's go to Udine all together, or let's go to Turin. But let's go there because we miss those two cities to visit as Fratelli di Rugby. So we probably will be around there.
And ranking points on offer for all those games as well. So something to be excited about.
So, Mike, a couple of bad thoughts. Let's put bad thoughts, but more than bad thoughts, situation-wise in the game. Trulla was busy, but not that sharp as usual. Not the classic Trulla.
Yeah, it
was tough, man, to play in that way. A couple of times he slipped on the ground, which doesn't help at all. So,
yeah. If he slipped a third time, I was going to tweet like maybe getting a crowdfunding for some new boots for him. Maybe we each put in a couple of euros, get him some new boots.
And the other situation. Oh, please go ahead, but it's going to be together. Trulla on the side, Jesse on the other side. If we want to talk about bad thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, not even bad thoughts. I think just areas to improve ahead of the next game if these are the players that are going to be picked. I think our clearance kicks put us under pressure a lot. We were maybe we could have been more effective with our clearance kicking. We could have been more effective with our positional play. And I think actually Trulla was maybe playing cover a little bit at times for players who were out of position, which meant that he couldn't, effectively join a counter attack, or if there was just little things like that, it left space for them to kick, and they were trying to sort of find those spots as well. But yeah, I mean, listen, we know what Trulla can do, and actually the fact that we're talking about him like this is because we put him at such a high standing after seeing what he can do with Zivre against, some of the best teams in the world in the URC. We know he's good enough. He just had a bit of an off day, and that's okay. What I want to see is what he can really do, and like I said, just kicking out of hand. I don't think, even if you're under pressure, I don't think there's any excuse for you to kick like 10 meters, from inside your 22. You just need to find composure and do better.
On Jesse's side, of course, all the eyes are on that situation. That I'm gonna just put this picture into the screen. So I send this to you. We were chatting earlier today. We chat with some of the chaps in the chat now about this situation where he went off. He should slide earlier. He should have done more. I'm honestly, personally, I'm not mad at Simone Jazz in this situation, but I think was really good the way.
Look at his arm positioning, Otto. Like Curtly Aronson, look at his arm positioning for this try-saving tackle. Like he attacks the ball, he wraps the ball, he gets under the arms, so he's got underhooks on Jersey, which means that when he twists, he loses his center of gravity. Like he couldn't have got in a better position for a try-saving tackle. Like that is textbook. That is utterly textbook. That is beautiful. But...
Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
He doesn't have the opportunity to score before, because with one hand is going down and the other one as Curtly Aronson, there is the view from behind. You can see he cannot do anything more than that. So
for me, I think he could have gotten closer to the ground before this, though. Like that's just was my observation. Full pace, maybe slightly different, but I think for me, depending on if you catch the ball above your head, right, and you're straight up, and then fair enough. But I think the ball was to hand, and I think you could start going down with the ball. But anyway, this isn't Jesse's fault. This is a learning
What you
opportunity.
said is funny because usually he's on the other side, on the other corner. I didn't think about this until now. Because usually he scored always on the left side. Come on, we know he's a left winger. He was completely on the right side. Probably also bringing that way too. Another point here is the way Trula give that ball with Arendt that is already turning his hips, going to run. And
he
honestly,
shouldn't have given.
I would like to
needed
see a different angle to see the meters distance to the try, to see if was, because come on, Arendt arrived so fast like a rocket when he arrived there. But anyway, it's done. We had this opportunity, the opportunity with Bertaccini at the end of the game for centimeter, just leave that ball.
Okay, I think we also have to bring up the Canali one then. So after the lovely Dimchev kick, and they knock on, and we're playing advantage. We pass the ball twice to Canali. He's running under the post. He gets to about 5 meters out, but all of the Springbok defense were offside, and it was just free pass. Basically, it ended up being like a 5-on-1, and we didn't pass the ball out. Like that was another thing for me that just burnt a little bit. So you around about the 75th mark, if you boys are going to watch it back, give or take 75th, 76th mark, Dimchev does this lovely little sort of grubber kick. The Canali one, that's the one that burnt me a little bit as well, because it was just that was free. So little things like that, or like you said, this could have been a much closer game if decision making went, and a bit of luck went our way as well.
It's always like that. But let me find out that moment you were saying, because
I think it was around about 75th, 76th if you're looking for it now. But it was after the Dimchev kick.
Let me see.
Statman has all of these things ready. He's
because now it crashed my software for this moment, but I found it on the other one. So here we go.
Yeah. So this is where it's given advantage. Perfect. Yeah, from here. So 75th, 76th minute.
You were saying the kick behind here.
Lovely kick from Dimchev, Otto, from a hooker. For those of you guys who don't know who Dimchev is, this is a hooker.
Here we go. The guy is this one, and we put this low down here. Here we go.
Right. Lovely ball. Oh, mate. Make sure he doesn't have to stand up as well. Lovely. Bertaccini with the lovely chase as well.
And push it down on the ground.
Yep.
We almost did the same with Leinag and Trula on the other side. Yeah. So from here, yes, we move the ball. They are slowing, coming back. Also here, the ball should be faster. Man, I wanted here to see Spagnol inside and Odias outside.
What for the pot? Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
But anyway, here we go. Kriel, complete scramble.
Look at that. That was free, Otto. That was so free. Anyway, we move.
Just throw a ball to Menoncello over there. Yes.
Backwards, just anywhere backwards. Even if it's directly backwards. I think it's Trula coming. Oh wait, no, is it Garbisi coming across?
Garbisi
even then,
whispering that track. Yes, and look, Leinag is screaming for the ball with the arms up. But yeah, this was that situation. You say, "Come on!"
So,
but also
there's lino underneath our logo there as well. Is what Otto was referencing. So under the logo on ours, there's
in the corner.
So okay, so maybe not 5-on-1, but 3-on-0.
Anyway, we should have scored here. No matter what, no matter how, we should have scored.
But also, it looks like Spagnolo and Odiase are actually coming round, right? So it would have been 5-on. It would have been, So look, they've gone round. It's 5 at this point. Even if he throws it backwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on no one, 5 on no one. Then because he there's 3 defenders here that come in. If he just throws the ball backwards, offloads, try time all day long. Anyway.
And here it's fantastic, I have to say, also the way Willy Leroux goes up. Look how much is up. And then probably we can check how normally is a tackle like this, to be honest. Now, I never thought about this until now. I was looking. But look, he cannot do any offload here because look how good is the way.
Because he went high,
He went on the chest. Actually,
Yeah, you know what's interesting as well. I love the fact that is that Hasa 18 as well. Yeah, so Spagnolo, Odiase, Hasa all loop around. So they knew where the space was, which is nice from a forward perspective. They realized that's where the space was, and actually the fact that they loop round, they were a second too slow here because they were anticipating the offload. Excuse me.
and
Tough.
fantastic clearance in the middle. Huh? Because look, no, hey, it's normal. It's normal that he's standing, but in that way, look the way he's coming in Odiase.
Mm.
He has to push him to find the right position to enter on the seven green, which is normal. But you don't have that. You cannot manage also with your foot the way you have to attack there. But hey, this is why they are the champion. They know how to move around. The details they bring you more, and they scored 42 points.
Hey, listen, like I know it's one of those where I know there's a lot spoken about, you know, this, that, and the other. Like Curtly Arons's genius there because the ruck's formed, so he's offside at that point. He needs to go back on side. But like you said, does enough there, does enough, and these are the little things. This is the difference between a World Cup winning team and a team that's trying to improve like us. It's the rugby intelligence, the rugby IQ of players doing stuff at the right time, at the right opportunity in the game. And then, like you said, Otto, there's that Bertaccini one where he ghosts through the whole defence. Had he released Otto?
But hey, he wants to play. So if I have to think, Mike, the changes in this team for Italy, who's going to rest? Who's going to start? Who needs to be proved now? We have Damiano Mats in the team too, and
yeah, actually, it's, you know what? Genuinely, like he has a good opportunity, but I want to see more of Bertaccini. Have you got a clip of that handoff on Pollard? I think it's his first carry of the game.
Not yet, but it's gonna be posted on X and Instagram
right.
soon.
So, guys, keep an eye out. By the way, because this is his second start at centre. Sorry, second game at centre. Again, off the bench, not much, but it's his first carry against the Springboks, and he steps. He does this lovely little footwork, and then Pollard's coming across, and he just sits Pollard down. That boy has a lot of potential, and he's gas. He's quick as well. I'm excited to see Bertaccini. I'm hoping that he gets some form of opportunity. But to answer your question directly, Otto, who do I think is going to be rested? I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something along the lines of, I don't know, maybe like Hasa starting instead of Ferrari finishing the end, or something along the lines of that with the front row, maybe having Dimchev start over Di Bartolomeo, and maybe you know, like just to rest them, because it was a big defensive shift as well for the players that played the first half, the first 60. That was a lot of effort for them. So maybe that. But outside of that, Otto, these are the players. We got injuries and, you know, inexperience and stuff. I think we're probably going to see Varney this game, which would be quite exciting. I'm hoping at least we'll see Varney. I think Garbisino was brilliant off the bench. I think he probably deserves a start.
We had good positive from him in the second half, because we were finding momentum in attack, and there was something. Mike, I counted more or less like the attacks, how many times with the ball we went into the opposite 50s. We had less than 20 opportunity now, because it frees and I cannot look at it, but there were at least 13 probably opportunity to score. And if you think about those opportunities to play in the opposite field, and you score 3 with three big situations, Jesse, Canali, and Bertaccini. Man, we did well, if we think.
Yeah,
also, because it was, you have to score at least two tries. You know, Italy should score at least 2 tries in this game. Last we scored 3 tries, which is great. Because Smith spoke with Brennanell in the preview of the game. So,
really I'm going to quickly say my team, because I sent it to you, right?
Yes.
So this is the team that I said to Otto in terms of this. And again, guys, comment if you don't agree. I won't be offended. Just give me a reason as to why, just so I understand the logic behind it. But I went Fischetti, Timchev, Ferrari, Zambonin, Cannone, Odiase,
6. Ooh.
yeah, Zuliani, Vincent, because Cannone, although he's not injured, I just maybe give him rest. Garbisi, Darre, Odogwu, Zanon, Menoncello, Lina, Trulla. And I've got some rogue things in here, guys, by the way. So my bench is Di Bartolomeo, Spagnolo, Hasa, Canali, Negri, if he's back. And Negri is going to be my second row cover as well, because we know that he has trained and has been training there as well. So
In case needed, the guy is always ready.
Right. And then we've got Cannone if fit, if not, Izekor. And because I'm resting Fusco, I need Montemauri and I need Varni.
Okay. That look, good points. Couple of changes I would have done in this game. For me, if Negri is fit, Negri is gonna start this game to bring energy in the second
Does
half.
Odiase play second row? Or do you think he just, if there's an injury, he just moves
It's
up?
my wild mind thinking like in my future there is one between Izekor Odiase and Jack Ferrari playing lock. That's in my dreams.
What is a good idea as well. Yeah, no, I see that. I think that's a really good idea, to be honest.
But anyway, for me, if Negri is ready, he had another week of rest. Seb Negri number 6, Odiase number 8, and I go with Vincent on the bench with the Cannone.
I thought Vincent was exceptional as well. Like he was brilliant
on that pop that he got. Man, I stopped and rewatched it to see how fast it was. Thinking for that.
What the line break that he did. So like the missed pass, he catches it, pops to liner. Did you see the full score like hard line off the left, pop off the left? If he pops that, they're through as well. Just little things like that. After like now that you mention it, little things like that make such a difference.
Can change everything, man. Linag having opportunity to move the ball, that offload more, but I'm happy with that. I think I would like to see Bertaccini starting this game.
Nice. Over Zanon?
Over Zanon. Zanon for me was a good game. A little bit shaky at the beginning because it wasn't so effective on the passing wise on first of 12, let's say, because it was the 12. So of 12, a couple of times the ball, I wasn't sure. There was a situation with Dare and Linag coming behind, turning around. And there it looked like this ball should have gone to Dare and goes to Linag. Maybe my mistake in how I saw that situation. But I know, okay, Zanon said, okay, I'm ready. Whatever you want to me, Gonzalo, I'm here. You see what I can do. But I want to see more of that. Montemauri is the call for me. Because I honestly, I don't know if I can bring him in the next game or just touring again. That's the
Montemauri at 12. I hear what you're saying.
Montemauri 15, man.
Trullas.
15, Odogu Trulla. Fabiano, Bertaccini.
I hear what you're saying. Odogu at 13. Nice.
Odogu 13.
Oh, imagine Otto. Now we're pushing the boat out, Otto. Bertaccini. Menoncello on the wing.
No, it's gonna happen. Who knows? But the thing is, I don't think none of the players in the field this last weekend they should have dropped by the team by performance. All of them they did well. All of them they can stay with the heads up and chin up too, as Mourinho used to say.
No, Otto, like I 100% agree. I think everyone, they did the nation proud, they did themselves proud. It's just now we need to go with the mindset of this wasn't enough, and that's the one thing that I'm very interested to see. Like, it's all good saying you're disappointed from a loss, but it's about how you react to a loss. And actually, I think if we're going this is a young team. Everyone on socials were shitting on players before the game.
Why they
So-
send this team? Why they send this
Right.
team?
So disrespectful against the world champions. We're going to put 100 on them, etc., 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 etc.
Maybe
It was
next
never
week,
about. This is the
but
thing.
still.
It was never about them. It's about us at this point, right? We have players who have performed well and deserve an opportunity at test level. These players, we're not sending people that we've just randomly picked on the streets, right? These are players that have played well in the URC. They're young players. Our under 20s have been performing, and we need to see where they're at. And there's no better team than to do it against the best team in the world. We're going to learn a lot more. So now, this young team, they've done basically the minimum we've asked them to do. They put 70 on 74 on Namibia. They played well against South Africa. Now I want to see how they're looking to win next game, and that's what I'm excited about. Is how are they looking? And South Africa are going to have the same questions to us, right? That's the truth. It's how is it that we're going to improve as a team, as a nation? How are we going to take that extra step so it's not a valiant loss? It's a respectable, genuine attempt to win. If we're close and we fall short, that's okay. But I want to see that. I want to see that next step. I want to see that consistency. I want to see what makes us a tier 1 test nation, you know?
Mike, I don't have to add anything else. I also highlight this because this is true. That's why you should follow Fratelli di Rugby. Robert, good. Thanks for the hook. But it's true. Sometimes people just don't think about Zebra were last year, so doesn't care. Benetton didn't get into the playoff. Nobody cares. No, we cares a lot. We care a lot about this. And we follow all kind of rugby everywhere, actually. Even in Australia. We can talk about Australia too one day.
I think, Otto, the perfect point is this, right? Like, those of you guys who don't or aren't aware, there is a big movement in Italy now. Like, it's very niche in comparison to the whole population, but there's a big fan base of very passionate,
the
fans.
Passion, something that all
yeah.
Like the Springboks, they always respect this. The passion, the Italian sport.
Yeah. Always, and that's the comments I've been seeing.
Yes. Two things, Mike.
Talk about lines quickly. Quick lines, 2 minutes. Is that Otto go?
No rant. Two things. Next season is going to be so fun. So excited to watch Benetton on the rebuilding with McRae. And on the other side, Zebrelandia, just to mention Zemanlandia, when the Foggia of Zeman was scoring a lot of goals in Calcio in Italy years ago. But Zebrelandia with Brunello is going to be also so interesting. So good times for us. Good time for us to manage. We were here heads up when they got almost 100 points on us during the World Cup. And it's funny to see how 2 years after we are still here talking about this, which is fantastic. Nothing else. Just glaze us a little bit. Cheers, everyone. And Mike, we spoke for an hour, 8 minutes. I think that's enough. See you next weekend. Where I am next weekend? Yes, I'm in Sofia. I'm back in Bulgaria. But of course, if you want to join our funny, interesting WhatsApp chat, just let us know. Send us a message. Follow us on Twitter, X. And I want to see with Blue Sky what we can do. Something more, Robert, and yes, let's go, and Mike, Ale, Forza Italia, ciao a tutti, cheers Kips, cheers Phantom, ciao ciao.